English Grammar. Complete Grammar for All Purposes. By PRAVIN KENDALE. Adjective. The words that focus our attention or give us additional information about nouns, or pronouns, are called as adjectives. Adjectives modify the noun or it describes the noun or it limits the noun. Adjectives are used before a noun or after a linking verb to complete the meaning of the sentence. There are 10 kinds of adjectives. Adjectives of number equals 1, 2, 3. Adjectives of quality equals kind, poor. Adjectives of quantity equals some, many, little. Proper adjectives equals Indian coffee. Interrogative adjectives equals which, whose. Emphasizing adjectives equals own, very. Demonstrative adjectives equals this, that. Possessive adjectives equals my, our, his. Distributive adjectives equals each, every. Exclamatory adjectives equals what. Adjectives of number equals 1, 2, 3. The words that give additional information about a noun through numbers or through order are called as adjectives of numbers. For example, we have 4 girls and 3 boys in our batch. Tuesday is the 3rd day of the week. The word that shows number of the noun is called as cardinal number. For example, 1, 2, 10. The word that shows the order of the noun is called as ordinal number. For example, 1st, 2nd, 10th. B. Adjectives of quality equals kind, poor. The words that describe noun or give additional information about a noun through quality are called as adjectives of quality. For example, Mukesh is a rich man. Shrutika is a beautiful girl. See adjectives of quantity equals some, many, little. The words that give additional information about a noun through quantity are called as adjectives of quantity. For example, there were some people standing there. I didn't have enough money to buy Renault Duster. D. Proper adjectives equals Indian coffee. When a proper noun gives additional information about a noun, it is called as proper adjective. For example, people like Italian art. American technology is the best in the world. Interrogative adjectives equals which, whose. If WH words which are used before nouns in the questions are giving more information about the noun are called as interrogative adjectives. For example, which place are we going to? Whose questions are you answering? F. Emphasizing adjectives equals own, very. The words that give additional information about a noun by emphasizing it are called as emphasizing adjectives. For example, this is God's own house. This is the very gun that I want. G. Demonstrative adjectives equals this, that. The words that give additional information about a noun by demonstrating it are called as demonstrative adjectives. For example, this pen is hers. Those chairs are from Z Club. H. Possessive adjectives equals my, our, his. The words that give additional information about a noun by showing possession on it are called as possessive adjectives. For example, that is his car. This is her projector. I. Distributive adjectives equals each, every. The words that give more information about a noun by referring to it separately from many are called as distributive adjectives. For example, every girl must take some training for self-defense. He can write with either hand. J. Exclamatory adjectives equals what. The words that give additional information about a noun through exclamation are called as exclamatory adjectives. For example, what an idea! What a boring movie it was! Uses of adjective. An adjective can be used in 2 ways. A. Attributively. B. Predicatively. An adjective is used attributively if it is placed immediately before the noun it qualifies. For example, she is a good teacher. An adjective is used predicatively if it is used after the verb. For example, Vimala is intelligent. An adjective has three forms: positive, comparative, superlative. These are the 3 degrees of comparison. The positive degree of an adjective is the adjective in its simple form. It is used to refer to the mere existence of particular quality. For example, no other student in the class is as good as Govind. The comparative degree of an adjective denotes a higher degree of the quality than the positive and is used when two things are compared. For example, Govind is better than any other student in the class. Superlative degree denotes the highest degree of the quality. The superlative degree denotes the highest degree of the quality. For example, Govind is the best student in the class. Note 1. The usages as, and so, as appear in positive degree. Comparative degree has adjective and er, then. Superlative degree has the and adjective in the superlative form. Note the use of the before the adjective in the superlative form. 2. There is no superlative degree if the comparison involves only two objects, persons or places, etc. For example, of the 2 sisters she is the best equals wrong. Of the 2 sisters she is the better equals correct. When selection of one of the 2 persons or things, sets of things, of the same kind is meant, the comparative degree is preceded by the and is followed by of. For example, she is the better of the 2 sisters. Let us look at some important rules in the use of adjectives. 1. Adjectives usually come in the following order if more than one is used side by side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. General opinion, specific opinion, size, shape, age, color, nationality, material. We use some adjectives only after a link verb. Afraid, alive, alone, asleep. Content, glad, ill, ready. Sorry, sure, unable, well. Some of the commonest adjectives are normally used only after a link verb. 2. Most adjectives form their comparatives by addition of r or er and their superlative by the addition of st or est, depending on the spelling, to the positive. For example, positive comparative superlative: great, greater, greatest. Brave, braver, bravest. 3. Some adjectives usually having more than 2 syllables in the spelling form their comparative by using the adverb more with the positive and the superlative by using the adverb most with the positive. For example, positive comparative superlative: beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Interesting, more interesting, most interesting. 4. When 2 qualities in the same person or thing are compared, the comparative degree is formed by using more instead of r or er with the positive. Example: Mohan is more wise than intelligent. This sentence means that Mohan is both wise and intelligent, but his wisdom is greater than his intelligence. 5. When 2 objects are compared with each other, the latter term of comparison must exclude the former by using any other. Examples: gold is more precious than any other metal. Gold is more precious than any metal. Wrong. 6. There are some words which are used in the positive and cannot be used in the comparative or in the superlative. Examples: interior, exterior, ulterior, major, minor. This is more inferior than that. Wrong. This is inferior to that. Right. 7. The following are used as comparative adjectives and are followed by to and not then. Examples: superior, senior, junior, inferior, prior, interior, posterior, prefer, etc. 8. The adjectives empty, excellent, circular, extreme, chief, entire, complete, perfect, final, last, unique, universal, round, square, triangular, eternal, etc. are not used in the comparative or superlative degree. 9. Some adjectives can be used only in the positive and in the superlative. They are: positive superlative, top, topmost, northern, northernmost, southern, southernmost, eastern, easternmost, westernmost. 10. The adjective preferable is used as a comparative. It is followed by to. It is not used with more. Examples: this is more preferable than that, wrong. This is preferable to that, right. 11. The comparative adjective ending in or are followed by the preposition to. Inferior, superior, prior, anterior, posterior, senior, junior. Example: he is superior to me. Correct. He is superior than me. Incorrect. 12. Sometimes the words much, less, far, etc. are used before the comparative to denote emphasis or excess. Example: Ramakrishna is by far smarter. Lecturer in the college. 13. The following adjectives do not admit of comparison because their meaning is already superlative. For example: unique, ideal, perfect, complete, universal, entire, extreme, chief, full, round, square. It is the most extreme hot. Incorrect. It is extreme hot. Correct. 14. If demonstrative adjective is followed by an adjective, the pronoun one or ones is essential after the adjective. For example: if you take a red bike, I shall take this blue one. The sweets are here, but she hasn't brought those better ones. 15. Worth and present participle compound adjective, use after a noun. For example: Amravati is a worth-seeing city. Incorrect. Amravati is a city worth seeing. Correct. 16. The following adjectives are used only predicatively. For example: asleep, wake, afraid, alive, ill, well. 17. Two adjectives which refer to the same noun or pronoun joined by a conjunction must be in the same degree of comparison. Example: Gandhiji is the noblest and wisest of all national leaders. 18. Certain adjectives when preceded by the become nouns in plural and require a plural verb if they are used as subjects. These are rich, poor, needy, aged, blind, dead, meek, wicked, etc. Examples: the rich people, do usually hate the poor people. The blind are very honest people. 19. Some adjectives often confused. A farther/further. Farther denotes more distant in space. Example: Sheila lives at the farther end of this street. Further means additional, more. Examples: there is nothing further to say about him. For further details, please contact the director. Be many, a great many, a good many. All these take a plural noun and plural verb after them. Examples: A great many people died in the cyclone. B. My sister has a good many friends. C. Use of many and a and noun, singular, plus verb, singular, structure. Examples: Many a delegate is attending this seminar. Meaning equals many delegates are attending this seminar. D. Modifiers few, little, much and many. Few is used with plural nouns. Little is used with singular uncountable nouns. Without articles, few and little usually have rather negative meanings. They often suggest not as much/many as one would like, or not as much/many as expected, or a similar idea. With articles few and little, i.e. a few and a little, are more positive in meaning. Their meaning is closer to some. They often suggest ideas like better than nothing or more than expected. Examples: 1. There are few books on thermodynamics in the library, so you have to purchase them. 2. You don't need to go shopping, there are a few eggs in the fridge. 3. I've got a little bread and cheese, it'll be enough for supper. Difference between fewer and lesser. In theory, fewer, the comparative of few, is used before countable nouns, and lesser, the comparative of little, before uncountable words. Examples: 1. There are fewer exploited workers than there used to be. 2. My friend earns lesser than a postman does. Note the following. PDCDSD. Few, fewer, fewest. Little, less / lesser, least. Fewer and less, lesser, are followed by than as they are the comparative forms. Note, many like few is used before a count noun. Example: many / few students. Much like less is used before a non-count or a material noun. Example: much / less water. Modifiers: too, very, enough. Compare the meanings and patterns of too, very, and enough. One very means to a high degree but does not suggest impossibility. Mary is very intelligent. Too suggests impossibility or undesirable. To and adjective and to and v. She is too sick to come to class today. Note, it is better not to use too with a positive adjective. Instead of too, it is better to use very. 3. Enough suggests possibility or sufficient degree. He is tall enough to play basketball. Notes: A. Be careful to put enough after the adjective. B. Be careful to put to and v, infinitive, after enough. C. In patterns 2 and 3 above, do not use any other structure word after the adjective or adverb except to. D. In the above patterns, adverbs can be used in the same position as adjectives. Example: Mary sings very well. E. Enough can come before or after a noun to express sufficiency. Examples: he had money enough to buy a new car. Or, he had enough money to buy a new car. F. Modifiers: negation. There are some words that have negative meanings even though they do not appear to be negative. For example: hardly, scarcely, rarely, seldom, without, and only. Do not use another negative word with these words. Examples: 1. He had scarcely enough money to purchase books. 2. They went to bed without dinner. Note, scarcely and hardly are followed by when and not then. No sooner is followed by than. These expressions mean as soon as. Examples: 1. As soon as I reached the station the train left. 2. No sooner had I reached the station than the train left. No sooner and had and subject and past participle plus. 3. No sooner did I reach the station the train left. No sooner and did and subject and present tense verb plus. Similarly, hardly / scarcely and had and sub and past participle. When. Or. Scarcely / hardly and did and sub and present tense verb. When. Note, the above structure is rarely used, therefore use the previous one to the above structure. Rule 15. Modifiers, adjectives after verbs of sensation. These verbs of sensation are generally followed by adjectives *, not by adverbs: feel, look, seem, appear, smell, taste, and sound. *, these are also called as predicate adjectives. He feels bad, correct. He feels badly, wrong. The soup smells delicious, correct. The soup smells deliciously, wrong. Rule 16. Modifiers, hyphenated or compound adjectives. Nouns are sometimes found as part of hyphenated or compound adjectives, adjectives of more than one word joined by hyphens. These nouns are never plural. I bought a 400-year-old painting in Germany. Hyphenated adjective. Some more examples. 1. BCom is a 3-year degree course. 2. This is a 10-kilometer long distance. 3. The professor has delivered a 2-hour lecture today. Rule 17. Modifiers, cardinal and ordinal numbers. There are 2 kinds of numbers: cardinal and ordinal. Examples: Cardinal Ordinal. 1. First. 2. Second. 3. Third. 4. Fourth. 21. 21st. The following patterns are used to designate items in a series. 1. Ordinal numbers are used in this pattern. The and ordinal and noun. The first book of the series is about verbs. 2 cardinal numbers are used in this pattern. Noun cardinal. Book 1 of the series is about verbs. Notes. 1. Use the with ordinal numbers. 2. Do not use the with cardinal numbers. 3. Be careful to use the correct word order for each pattern. Rule 18. Modifiers, noun adjectives. The first noun, n, in the following pattern is used as an adjective. All these are language students. NN. Notes. A. When nouns are used as adjectives they do not have plural or possessive forms. B. Exceptions. The following nouns always end in s but are singular in number when they are used as names of courses or sciences, physics, mathematics, etc. He is an economics teacher. NN. But the current economic situation is extremely uncertain. Note. Economic is an adjective here. Economical means frugal, thrifty. Ways of forming different degrees of adjectives. There are 6 ways of forming different degrees of adjectives. 1. By adding er and est. For example, bold, bolder, boldest. Clever, cleverer, cleverest. Great, greater, greatest. 2. By adding r and st. For example, able, abler, ablest. Large, larger, largest. Wise, wiser, wisest. 3. By changing y into I and adding er and est. For example, happy, happier, happiest. Merry, merrier, merriest. Wealthy, wealthier, wealthiest. 4. By doubling consonant before adding er and est. For example, big, bigger, biggest. Hot, hotter, hottest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. Fat, fatter, fattest. 5. By using more, most, less, least. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Qualified, more qualified, most qualified. 6. Irregular adjectives. Good, better, best. Bad, worse, worst. Adjectives with various endings. 1. Adjectives ending in worthy. For example, praiseworthy, noteworthy, trustworthy. 2. Adjectives ending in full. For example, powerful, useful, peaceful, grateful, cheerful. 3. Adjectives ending in less. For example, hopeless, endless, harmless, baseless, senseless. 4. Adjectives ending in ar or ary. For example, particular, necessary, honorary, customary, monetary, popular. 5. Adjectives ending in y. For example, happy, lucky, angry, hungry, wealthy, greedy, lazy, hardy, etc. 6. Adjectives ending in ly. For example, ugly, costly, manly, lovely, highly. 7. Adjectives ending in eel. For example, cordial, trivial, matrimonial, jovial. 8. Adjectives ending in able. For example, favorable, manageable, amiable, noticeable. 9. Adjectives ending in ive. For example, attractive, attentive, talkative, respective, effective, impressive, etc. 10. Adjectives ending in able. For example, possible, impossible, horrible, responsible, etc. 11. Adjectives ending in ant. For example, distant, arrogant, important, abundant, gallant, brilliant, etc. 12. Adjectives ending in ish. For example, boyish, slavish, foolish, bookish, etc. 13. Adjectives ending in ent. For example, urgent, excellent, intelligent, fluent, etc. 14. Adjectives ending in chale. For example, official, judicial, commercial, financial, etc. 15. Adjectives ending in oriel. For example, tutorial, editorial, memorial, etc. 16. Adjectives ending in al. For example, eternal, external, internal, vital, critical, criminal, etc. 17. Adjectives ending in eel. For example, real, ideal, serial, etc. 18. Adjectives ending in ual. For example, mutual, punctual, actual, gradual, etc. 19. Adjectives ending in cal. For example, political, clerical, logical, technical, practical, historical, etc. 20 adjectives ending in iable. For example, variable, deniable, sociable, pitiable, etc. 21 adjectives ending in tile. Partial, impartial, essential, confidential, residential, etc. 22 adjectives ending in us. For example, humorous, jealous, mischievous, fabulous, carnivorous, dexterous, ridiculous, etc. 23 adjectives ending in es. For example, anxious, cautious, delicious, pious, loquacious, notorious, etc. 24 adjectives ending in es. For example, advantageous, courteous, miscellaneous, gorgeous, etc. 25 adjectives ending in us. For example, virtuous, continuous, acidulous, ambiguous, etc. 26 adjectives ending in like. For example, childlike, ladylike, etc. 27 adjectives ending in some. For example, handsome, wholesome, burdensome, quarrelsome, etc. 28 adjectives ending in n. For example, golden, hidden, rotten, etc. 29 adjectives ending in n. For example, mean, Indian, urban, etc.